Take two. Hi. Alrighty, I am going to do some reading. The Walk in the Light series, Restoration. I'm on chapter 4, and as always, it is written by Todd Bennett, and I will put the link to his website and YouTube in the description box. They are good books. And as always, I will always say, because I suck at reading and I don't pronounce words, let alone the Hebrew, very well, and I am slow, and I stutter and I stammer, stumble. So with that said, I am going to pick up where I left off on chapter 4. The chapter is about paganism. Alrighty, so I'm going to start reading chapter 4 about paganism, and I'll probably go on a rant, I'm sure. I don't know. I usually do. Jeroboam, the king of the house of Israel, did not want his people going to Jerusalem for fear that he would lose his hold on power. Therefore I don't know if you can hear that. My uncle just turned the TV on and it's really loud. Alrighty, I had to shut the door. So, I don't know, whenever I try to read, it just is one thing after the other. The king didn't want to lose his power. Therefore, he established worship centers within the territories of the tribes in his kingdom. In doing so, he committed the same abomination which Israel committed when they left Egypt, only this time it was twice the abomination, and it was done within the land. This was a terrible reproach to Yahweh, because the northern tribe were committing idolatry, which was spiritual adultery. The house of Yehuda ended up falling into paganism as well, but in a different way. They built booths in the area of the house of Yahweh and mixed the worship of false gods with the worship of Yahweh. They turned the house of Yahweh into a veritable pantheon. The prophets Ezekiel and Jeremiah, this is not going well. It's going to be one of those times. Anyway, the prophets Ezekiel and Yirmiyahu, it's those Hebrew names that will get ya, described the abomination they committed, which included erecting pagan statues and images, making cakes, and burning incense to the Queen of Heaven, pouring out drink offerings to pagan gods, weeping for Tammuz, praying to the sun. Ezekiel and Yirmiyahu, as we read in the previous chapter, Queen of Heaven was the title taken on by Semiramis, also known as the Star of Babylon. This fertility goddess was known as Astaroth in Canaan, Isis in Egypt, and was known as Venus by the Romans and Aphrodite by the Greeks. These are all the same goddess, but again, she had different names in different cultures. Currently, we see the Catholic Church calling Mary the Queen of Heaven. That's interesting. So they're referring to Mary, even though a lot of people think that is the mother of Yahushua, which people say Jesus is the same. If she's the mother of heaven, they're relating her to the goddess that the other cultures speak of. Interesting. Currently, we see the Catholic Church calling Mary the Queen of Heaven, which is a tradition tracing directly back to Babylon. As a result of the various abominations of Israel and Judah, both houses were removed from the land and were scattered throughout the world, not unlike what happened to the original Babylonians. Since they wanted to worship like pagans, they were scattered amongst pagan cultures. Yahweh was not going to allow them to commit these acts in his land and in his house. Just as no husband would knowingly allow his wife to commit adultery in their marital home or in their marriage bed. Back then, maybe, in this wicked world today, with all the strange things that go on. I'm sorry, I have an itch. I mean, you hear about polygamy, having more than one wife. Some have more than one husband. Some have open marriages. It's crazy. Instead of scattering them to spread their idolatry, though, Yahweh sent them into an idolatrous world so that he could later regather them and redeem them through his plan of restoration. We read in the scriptures about some brief periods of restoration which Judah experienced, but the land and the people who lived there would remain under the control of foreign nations for thousands of years. As a result of this foreign occupation, the land continued to be filled with pagans and pagan worship. Although the original Canaanites' deities were replaced with other gods and goddesses bearing different names. I have my microphone in the wrong place. I have interruptions. I can't speak tonight. It's like, and I'm just wondering if I shouldn't do this completely all over again because I'm not articulating, or should I just post it and move on? Which I think I'm going to do, because otherwise it just takes me forever to do this. Today's the 29th of November. I'm going to leave off here. Oh my goodness. I feel like something bit me. So, it's just been a day. All right. Well, I have a video trying to upload. I have another video waiting to upload after that. Then I have a video reading, which really bites because I just totally blew it tonight, but I'm going to upload it anyway so I can move on. Because this is a long chapter. This is a long chapter. It is a very long chapter. I wrote a lot of notes. It's interesting. Good. I wrote like a diary in this thing, and this was 2015. Oh my goodness, that long ago. Anyway, I am going to move on. I am going to do a video after this, which you'll see the same shirt, because I am going to do one more. I don't know, either an update or a story time. I'm trying to decide. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, so maybe I'll talk about that and how that day went. All right? So, you just have these kind of days. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh my goodness.